Lots of little changes in the update this week. You'll see the ship now has visible scuppers, and this is mainly because I've done a near total rewrite of how the ship interacts with the water, at least in terms of clipping. It's still not perfect. You can see it looks maybe a little unnatural at times there, but water can now flow over the deck and through the scuppers without necessarily being visibly clipped or being able to see underneath of the water plane, because that looks pretty bad. So still not perfect, but hopefully the aim of it is to better indicate when water is flowing up onto the deck or otherwise behaving badly. And the reason you want to be able to see this, other than just visual interest, is when you get into heavy seas like we're seeing now. The ship is perfectly capable of taking on water, especially if it's heavily loaded or poorly trimmed. Right now we're not set up particularly well with the wind blowing as it is. We're heeling a little more than we should be, which can result in what you saw there, water flowing through the scuppers and getting things nice and wet. So to deal with that, we have the pumps, and these were present before, but there's been a number of changes to how they work. If you have water in the bilge, you can pump it out. If you hear water, like we just heard there, that means there is water in your bilge, and you can simply pump until it stops. So there, we got the worst of the water out. I'm sure more will be coming in soon, but that changes to give you a little bit more to do while you're sailing from place to place, as it can take a pretty long time. The next thing I've added here is a change to how the player interacts with the water. Should you be a little lax on your pumping duties, or should you sink for whatever reason, fall overboard, I don't know. You no longer bob around like a cheerful cork. You can now swim beneath the surface. You'll see I've redone how environmental audio works to better suit zones or weather changes or different states, such as being underwater. You can't swim forever either. Sea is very dangerous, and I want it to feel dangerous. So essentially, every time you make a sweep towards the surface, the strength with which you can swim decreases by a fairly small margin, about 2%. So eventually you will get weaker and weaker to the point where you can no longer keep your head above the water, and then you die, which is generally frowned upon. I'm nearing the point where I'd like to release a playable demo. Don't consider this to be a playable demo of a playable game. Rather, I'm interested in getting some testing and feedback from people who are interested in this kind of game. There's going to be a lot of issues, a lot of things that need to be worked on, but that's why it's a free demo. If that's the kind of thing that interests you, stay tuned. It'll probably be released on itch, but we'll see once we get close. I'm hoping to have that at the end of the year at the very latest, and hopefully a good time before that. So anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next time.